Hi friends, Eid Mubarak to all of you. Happy to welcome you all for another edition of QuickTip videos brought to you by DataPlatformCentral.com. In this edition of QuickTip videos, we can see how a role-playing dimension can be generated inside a Power BI model using data merged from multiple tables. As you are probably aware, role-playing dimension is a very important concept in Power BI model where a single dimension plays multiple roles. Let's see how a single dimension created using data merged from multiple tables can be used to generate role-playing dimensions. For the sake of this demo, let's look at a very simple example where we have three tables called employee, employee address and employee contact. Employee represents the details of all the people who are associated to a educational institution. Employee address and employee contact represents the supplementary tables which contains the associated address and contact related information. So in this demo, let's see how these three tables can be used to generate data for a dimension which will play multiple roles inside your Power BI data model. So let's quickly go to Power BI desktop and try to connect to this data model. Once inside Power BI desktop, you can click on Get Data option and choose SQL Server. Enter the name of your instance and click on OK. If you are already connected to the instance before, you will be presented with a list of databases inside. Select your database and select the tables inside the database. Click on Load so as to load the data into the Power BI model. It's gonna take a while to connect to the model and load the data from the model to Power BI desktop. Once the data is loaded, you will have three tables inside your Power BI model consisting of the employee details, the address details and the contact details. Now our attempt is to merge the data from these three tables to create the single base dimension table which can be used to generate the role-playing dimensions inside your Power BI model. For this purpose, the first thing to do is to go to the employee table and click on Merge Queries. In the Merge Queries option, it will ask for which of the table to be used for merging. Select employee address as a second table. Select employee number as a common column between the two tables. You should see a warning stating that the columns of the same type should be present. So that implies the column name types between the two tables are currently not the same. Click on Cancel. Go and check the column names which we are using for merging. So in this case, we need to check for the employee number column inside employee and the similar column that is inside employee address. If you see, you can notice that the employee number column inside employee address is of type text. So you need to first convert it to whole number so as to match the data type of the column inside employee. Once you do that, now you can go ahead and click on Merge Queries option from the Home tab. Again, select employee address as a second table. Select employee number as the common column between the two tables, and now you will be able to successfully merge the two tables into one. Now that you have merged address details onto the employee, the next step is to merge the associated contact details. Again, go to the contact table and check whether employee number is of type whole number. In case it is not whole number, change it to whole number first. Once the data type is changed, again go back to the employee table where you have merged the employee address details. This time, click on Merge Table and select the second table as employee contact. Again select employee number from both the sides. Click on OK. Now you should get a single table with merged information from address and contact. The next step is to expand these address and contact related columns into a flat table structure. Click on the expand option close to employee address, and inside that select only the required columns. So in this case I am going to select address, city, state and country. Similarly, from the employee contact table, expand and select only phone and email columns. At the end of this step, you will have a flattened table inside employee, which includes the columns from employee contact as well as from employee address supplementary tables. Once the flat table is obtained, you need to do a small bit of cleansing. For example, if you want, you can remove the null values which they are present within the columns by selecting the columns and choosing the option replace values. Replace nulls with blanks. We will be using this base table for creating the role-playing dimensions. For that purpose, we need to first define a parameter through which we can pass the role names. So for that purpose, go to manage parameters option from above, click on new parameter. Give the name of the parameter as role name. Type as text. Suggested value as define a list of values and pass the values as student, teacher and staff. These are the three roles for which we will be generating role-playing dimensions. Set the default value to any one of the value and also the current value to the same value. And click on OK. Once the parameter is created, the next step is to map the current query to the parameter. So for this purpose, we need to apply a filter on a role. Click on the role column. Choose the option text filters and choose the option equals. So in this case, we want to assign this to the parameter so that the value will get passed from the parameter from outside. Choose the option parameter and automatically it will get applied to the only parameter which is available inside our model, which is the role name. Click on OK. This will ensure that this table query is now linked to the parameter that we have created with the three values. Now we can utilize this parameter and pass any value through it to get the corresponding data. The next step is to create a function utilizing all the transformation steps that have been applied so far. So for that purpose, right click on our main table, employee, and choose the option create function. You need to pass a function name, so we will name the function as generate entity and click on OK. Automatically you can see a function being formed and attached automatically to the parameter. Then it will prompt us for the parameter and there will be an option to invoke. Now we can pass each of the values for the roles and click on invoke for invoking the corresponding tables containing all these roles. So let's start off by applying student. Once we pass the value as student, ideally all the transformations that have been defined inside the function should be applied on the source table and it will need to generate a student table on the fly. However, in the actual case, we will be greeted with an error message as shown on the screen. This error message implies that it is impossible to create a function from a table which is itself the result of merging of multiple tables. So now we need to think of an alternative of how we can utilize these transformations for creating a function. So for this purpose, what we need to do is instead of directly using the table, which is the result of the merge operations between multiple base tables, we will create a reference of this query. So for that purpose, you can click on the employee table and choose the option like reference. This will create a direct reference of that query. And now we can try creating the function on this reference table. Because this table is created using a reference, this table will include all the transformation steps which were part of your main table query. Now that the reference table is created, the next step is to link the parameter to this table from your main table. For this purpose, go to employee table, remove the filter step which you added there, come back to your new reference table and click on the filter step in the reference table. For this purpose, again choose text filters equal option and choose the parameter option here, and automatically it will get assigned to your existing parameter. The next step is to create the function over the reference base table. For this purpose, remove the existing invocation statement for the function and also the function itself from the main table. For this purpose, you can use the delete query. Right click on the function and choose delete as well, so that the function is also deleted. And now you need to define the same function over the new table that you have created as a reference. Right click on the new table, choose the option create function and give the name of the function as generate entity and click on OK. This will cause the function to be created on the new reference based table, and this time it will work successfully without giving any error message. So now that the function is created with the attached role name parameter, you can pass each values to the parameter and generate the corresponding role playing dimension. So I am passing student and clicking on invoke. It will automatically generate a student table for me. If you check the data for the table, you will find that it will only include the role value of student, which indicates that the student table has been created successfully. You can give it a name like student and save it in the model. Similarly, you can go back, select the function, choose teacher to generate the teacher table, and then go back and use staff as the value to generate the staff tables. Make sure each time you go and check the data to ensure that the data is correct, and then you rename the table to indicate what exactly it contains. So I'll make it teacher table, and then the final one is staff table. So as you see from this quick demo, you were able to generate role-playing dimensions based on a single base dimension by utilizing a reference option of querying. In this case, because the base table itself was a result of merge from multiple tables, you are not able to directly create the function on the base dimension. For that purpose, what you did was to create a reference query based on the base dimension and create a function on it after linking a parameter to pass the corresponding role names. The method shown in this quick demo can be utilized for creating role-playing dimensions in cases where your table data comes from multiple base tables. Hope you enjoyed this edition of QuickTip video. Feel free to give your honest feedback, and as always, support me by subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thanks all, and see you all soon with another quality video. Wish you a nice day. Bye.